back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is August the 1st, 2022, and it's 7:00 p.m. on Monday night. Mondays is reserved for my interview nights, and I'd like everyone to welcome Memoirs of a Long-Arm Quilter, Miss Stephanie. How fabulous is it that she was gracious enough to come on with me? It's amazeballs. We've got tons of emailed questions in, plus my standard questions. So we're in for a good time tonight. So Stephanie, thank you for taking your time and joining me tonight. And if anybody has any questions in the chat, please feel free to type them in. As I see them periodically, I'll stop throughout the interview and hit as many as I can. I'm going to welcome everybody and then we'll get started, darling. Vicky Lemire, hello. Delia, hello. Nancy, guess who Nancy, hello. Let me look here. Amy C, how are you feeling today, Donna? I hope you're getting plenty of rest and plenty of fluids. Amy, thank you, darling. I'll recap on that cycle in just a second, but I'll condense it down really easy. Hello, Heather. Trying to see as y'all's coming in. I'm trying to delay starting, so we didn't send out the alert that we were going to be doing this. And Elizabeth, hello. So I'm going to circle back. I did see my doctor, and basically I've got an abscessed ear infection that's draining into my throat that's caused some bronchitis. So I'm on steroids, antibiotic, and for 2 weeks I'll be resting a good bit, but still doing what I can. They told me to take a couple days and just do absolutely nothing, push a lot of water and push my meds. So I wanted to do this interview with all of my being because I love Miss Stephanie. So we're sticking to it tonight. So thank you guys for asking. Thank you for all your love and support. Courtney, hello. Carrie, Maddie, Dorlyn, Cindy, welcome everybody to the chat tonight. So I'm going to get down and start with just my regular base questions first, and then we'll hop into the good stuff for you, babe. Let me see. Would you give us a little bit of history about yourself? The example would be like, we know you're married, but what's your husband's name? Life, what's your life like? I don't want you to name the state you live in because it's really no one's business. East Coast, West Coast, whatever's good. And do you have any kids and so forth? Just your basic history of a little about you.
I am an Army veteran. I am happily married to my husband of 13 years. We've had 4 beautiful children. 2 are already with Jesus, and the other 2 are here with us. We have a 16-year-old girl and a 26-year-old boy, young man, I should say. He'll kill me if he heard me call him boy. Yeah, so, and we have our pup, our 4-legged babe here. His name is Benson. He is, he's my ride and die dog. He's always with me, hanging out with me. But yeah, I've been quilting on and off for over 20, he's 26, so 24 years, more off than on. But I've decided to go ahead and keep going along with quilting, and here I am.
Well, I tell you what, you're a blessing to many, honey. You really are.
Thank you.
Outside of your quilting life right now, what kind of jobs have you ever worked outside of the home? Did you go to college and things like that? What brought you around to the quilting side of life?
Actually, I was working outside the home. I was after the military. Well, I went to school to become a veterinary technician.
Cool.
And at the last minute, I was on a dare. My BFF said, "Girl, let's join the Army." And I'm like, okay, but she had been secretly taking the test. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I went ahead and I passed that test, and she was like, yeah, no, I'm not going. So I was like, well, I'm not going to lose this bet. I am going to go to the Army. So I didn't finish that degree. I joined the military, then it was in for 8 years, both active and reserve. And yeah, I started quilting after a car accident. I were in my friends, or he was my neighbor at the time, but he grew up to be good friends. He had passed away and we were in his funeral procession, and my car was T-boned by an impatient person who didn't want to wait in line. And I had, they did not classify it as a TBI, but I did have a head injury, a very bad concussion. And I remember, but then, I couldn't remember anything. But I remember saying, I want that. And I was pointing to the television, and it was a sewing machine. And I never sewn prior to that, but I have come from a history of crafters. My grandmother was a crafter, but I was not on any of her machines. You couldn't look at any of her machines, okay? So learning to sew on my own, I was learning to sew on my own. I had some horrible seams back then. So I figured if I was gonna learn how to quilt, let me do it the right way. And I didn't take a class until after a year, after getting a sewing machine. And that's how I started. And then everyone was telling me, oh, that's an old woman's hobby. And it really freaked me out because I didn't want no one to think bad of me. And I just continued to do it in secret. And then I just stopped, and then I started back. And then when our daughter, in 2015, when she passed, she had made me promise that I would not stop quilting. So it really got serious after 2015.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for your service. That's phenomenal. And we can't thank the service people enough. And whether it's 4 years, 8 years, 20 years, anytime once you take that oath, you're in that service. And we all thank you for that. You pretty much answered, how did you get your sewing? How did you get started? But like after you come home from the hospital, and you did kind of like a lot of us, I think they label us as old when we buy a sewing machine and stuff, and we don't want that stigma, so it's kind of like we are the closet sewers, but when you come out of it, it's wow, you know so much, or you've learned so much. And
absolutely. Or can you make me one?
Absolutely. No. The ones that we were afraid of would be talking. They're the ones that's like, here, I love your work. And I think sometimes we're our own worst critics.
Absolutely.
How long have you had your long arm? That's one of the emailed questions.
This one I had, because I've had two. My first one I did get in 2013 or 2014. No, it was 2013 that I did get it. And it was the Handy Quilter Avante. And I got that one because it looked cute. It was girly. And I was like, gonna have to have it, that kind of thing. And without really testing any long arms, it was just a poor decision that I made, but I knew I wanted one. And then I got this one in 2017. His name is Tafari. He's my ride and die. He used to be the one with me to the end, to the long arm quilting bug comes out of me. He's going to be with me. He's a 22-inch classic Innova. I went clear across the states to my friend Teresa's house.
Oh my.
And she had one, and I was in love ever since then. So when I came home, when we purchased this house, I said I had to have an Innova, and we made it happen.
Now, how did you get the name of it? I see so many of us name our machines. They're like our kids, though, because we spend a lot of time with them, and we nurse them, we baby them. You know what I mean? So how did you name yours?
Yes. Safari is, well, it started out because I did Ancestry DNA, and I found out I was like 80 something % Cameroonian. So I wanted to make sure that I wanted to give name that represented my heritage. So when I found the name, I went through all the names, a lot of the names, and it means he who inspires awe. And I feel that every quilter inspires or brings out the best in not only in ourselves, but in our craft and to one another. So I think we're our community is, our own cheerleading squad. So that name fits. My piecing machine, my Bernina 570, her name is Shalom because that means peace. And I do all my piecing. So
that's awesome.
They have your names.
That's really awesome. I like that. The next one is, what is your favorite part of quilting? Do you have a favorite part? Like, is it your fabric picking? Do you design your own? How do you get the mindset?
I'm not a designer. I would never call myself a designer. What I do is I love to see things and then I want to make it. But then sometimes I try to tweak it just a little bit just to call it my own. And those are usually the mistakes that I make in quilts. It's really not like a huge design change or anything like that. But my favorite part has to be picking the pattern. I love picking patterns. I have a slew of them. I love picking them. And then, of course, my other favorite part is finding the time to do it. So I love long arming, hence the name Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter. But I wanted to learn, my goal is to learn free motion quilting. So eventually that will be my favorite part too.
That's my favorite part right now. You know what I mean? I love the creativity of it.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how to ask this one. Would you walk us through the mindset of a project from the way you pick your pattern to the way you pick your pattern, your colors, your prints? Do you lay it out a certain way and envision it, or do you just bring it home, chop it up, and you're ready to go?
Actually, when I'm looking for a pattern, the pattern usually is like, oh, I like that. I want to make that. So, I mean, it's really nothing big that I do. Now, when it comes to the fabric, wow, that's a great question, because usually I see a pattern, I'm like, oh, is that fabric line still still here available? And most of the times they'll tell me no. And then I just walk through the fabric store through it. And I'm a collection person. I don't do good with picking colors from different collections. Unless it's a neutral color, I don't do good at that. So I'm a collection buyer. So I will look at those, the lines, and I'm like, you know what, that'll go here, that'll go here. And I just go from there. Like with the nativity one, I knew that pattern was over 20 years old. And really? I knew the fabric back then when they were making those were called marbles. And I just Googled to see who had marble fabric still available. And it was Missouri Star Quilt Company. And I just went with it. So, I mean, it just depends on the project.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You're bringing your whole vision to life at that. It's gorgeous. I think a lot of us are kind of like you are. I'm not great with matching up my stuff. I'd rather buy it like if it's all together and it's designer. Because if I have to go and say pick yellows and blues or whatever, I'm all scattered. I need it all done for me.
Yes. And I don't do good with going in, because if you think of it, you have a whole quilt shop. I don't want to go look through the whole quilt shop. I just give me that section, for this one particular quilt, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Amen. Where did you get your channel name?
Channel name. I made it up. Because the thing was, I just wanted to take my viewers or the subscribers on a journey with me. And I didn't want to say diary because, like I want people to read my diary. But memoir is taking you guys on a journey, let you know how I'm feeling when I'm creating. And I have the gift of gab. So I think that was more fitting. so I can tell you about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how, what was my thought process, and how did it make me feel? And I'm hoping that it'll make you feel that way as well, to encourage and things like that. So that's how
you come across that way. You know what I'm saying? You walk through every step and make it so clear, and the passion is right there.
Well, that's good.
You do. You don't realize you mean a lot to a lot of us. What types of machines do you have? You've already said about the long arm that you already moved along, and you've already told us the type of, but this is like a 4-part question, and if I lose, you just slap at me. What type of machines do you have had, and do you do custom work at this time? And if so, how does one reach out to you to send a quilt? So I can drop your info in the description box.
Okay. The machines I did have were, I was a Janome girl, and I will always be a Janome girl. That was my first true love. I had the 1600p and the 6600p of the Janomes. I sold them and I became a Bernina girl. I have the Bernina 570 and the 350, and I think the other one is a 135. The 135 is the one I let my daughter use. It's easy enough. The 350 is my travel machine. Do I do custom work? I only do custom work for myself because, one, it takes a lot of time. And one of the things I didn't mention when I was being introduced is the fact that I'm also a disabled veteran. I'm just not a veteran, I'm a disabled veteran. Therefore, I do not work outside of my home. I have several medical issues that prevents me from turning around a custom quilt in a time manner that a customer would like. So I only do my own at this time. Now, do I do computerized work for others? Yes, I do. And you can just email me at memoirsofa.laq@gmail.com for that. Or you can find me on Instagram and send me a direct message.
I think Courtney's in the chat. Courtney, would you please drop her links for me? Joe's got our bot set up, but I don't have the pad here to drop the links. So I'm not good at that yet.
That's okay. We all gotta learn it.
I'm learning. Slow and steady wins the race. Would you walk? We've already did that. Do you find anything challenging at this time about quilting? Like with
challenging.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to ask, because you've got like 14 questions that's been emailed. So I can't even begin. It says, what is the most challenging part for you of selecting your fabric line or the pattern? But I think you kind of already went through that.
Yeah.
So
I think a challenge for quilting would be for me is anything artsy. To me, art is like that. To me, art comes directly from a person's heart. And when I like the collage quilts that like Beth and Courtney are working on,
they're amazing.
Like art. And I'm like, I'm not there yet. Well, I don't even know if I should say yet. I'm not there. Period. And I don't even know if I want to be there, because every quilter has their own lane. When I see a pattern, regardless if it's modern, regardless if it's old school traditional, if it speaks to me, that I'm just going to do it. Now, is there anything that I find difficult in quilting? It has to be the art one, because I don't have a desire to do it.
Yeah. Like that's how I was with the paper piecing. There's no way I didn't ever want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I had trouble doing the paper piecing in the very beginning with just flying geese. But now I found I really enjoy it. But that's with the little stuff. Now, when Courtney gets me hooked up with these big projects. I don't know where I'll land. They may end up being gifts on my channel, but I'm going to try it.
Oh yeah, gotta try it because I love foundation paper piecing. That is awesome.
I think it's relaxing. I don't mind doing the paper piecing. It's that visualizing and laying everything down and it's all backwards to get it all to come in right. No, I'm not good at that. Can you tell us how you organize your, like when you're setting up a pattern, you're going to do it, you come home, you get it all set up. How do you do that? Do you like starch? They didn't give me a lot. I'm throwing that in there. Do you starch? Do you not? Do you wash?
I am not a pre-washer. I starch all nice and crisp. Like, for example, I can go off of what the things that I prepared for because I'll be working on a Judy Niemeyer quilts. I have a class coming up next week. I did not pre-wash. I pre-starched all of the fabric. So it is like kind of stiff. So when I go to cut it, it'll be nice and easy to cut. I lay everything out. I make sure like, definitely read all the instructions first. So more than one time, I'll read all the instructions and then I only do like a small section per day because it's so easy sometimes in quilting to screw up something unless I'm very, very familiar with it. But I just take it one step at a time. I lay out all my fabric. I have it all out. I have my, I try to do a lot of the pre-cutting up front, especially if they give you a list of you need 12 half square triangles or whatever, you need 24 squares cut. I try to do all that in the beginning so I can just sit in peace.
Enjoy it.
Gives me the longer time to sit in peace.
Is this your first Judy Niemeyer or do you do them a lot? No,
this will be my first Judy Niemeyer. I'm looking forward to it. The class had been rescheduled before, and it's a 3-day retreat. And I am so looking forward to it. Now, I'm not going to be taught by Judy herself. It will be by one of her certified instructors. So I am looking forward to it. I cannot wait.
That's going to be awesome. I've got one of her patterns. I'll show you when we go offline. It's sitting there and I've got everything to go with it, but I'm intimidated until I get something easier under my belt.
Yeah. You do a couple of smaller ones, but it's paper piecing. Once you get it, I think the hardest part of paper piecing is those tiny, tiny pieces and not knowing how to either open the seam, iron them open or keep them closed because they do get really bulky. And you just have to figure out how you want to navigate, through that.
Yeah, I was reading some of her reading on it, and some of her videos say you pick the paper out where the seam's going to be to help. And I was like, so there's certain, So it'll be an experience. Now that I know you're doing one, I'll be saying, hey, I'm ready to start now. I'll send you a copy. Do you advertise your business or is it just here on YouTube, honey?
I do. I advertise it here locally. And when people ask me about it, I've always, I'm willing to tell them about it. I try not to do a lot of advertising. Again, one is because I am a disabled veteran. And honey, I don't want nothing messing with my coins, okay?
No.
Okay. So I have to be very, very careful about that. And then again, I don't advertise a lot because when someone knows that you are a quilter and that you can do their projects, sometimes they don't understand the fact that I can't do 3 and 4 quilts in a day. Mm-hmm. I have to do 2 quilts today, and then I might not be able to do a quilt for another 4 days.
Right.
And that's because I need my body to rest. If not, who wants to end up in a hospital? So I had to learn many hard lessons to listen to my body and not let other people dictate what I can do on my machine.
Absolutely. So. I'm learning too, baby. It's one of those things. I hate to say no. I'm trying to make sure I get, some of these are just amazing. So I'm going to skim through them. Have you ever wrote your own pattern or just have you tweaked it? I think you've already said I do the same thing. I might try to tweak it a little for myself.
Right, because it's one project that I have. It's a hexie. It's a 3-inch hexie. I knew I had the pattern. Now this pattern is over 10 years old. I had that pattern. I had the pattern up until the time I picked out that fabric for the pattern. And all of a sudden that pattern decided to grow legs and walk. I think someone may have happened to see it when I was picking out that fabric and they swiped my pattern.
Oh no.
So I am having to think how that pattern actually, how it went. So I am making it up as I go along. So now this might be a pattern of my own, or or my memory is just that good. I don't remember.
Oh,
So it might be a first for me. I don't know. We'll see.
absolutely. Now I'm going to get down some fun ones for you. How did you ever get started quilting? You told me about like when you were in the hospital and in your first machine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just sliding down this list. You do have your own quilting studio. That's one.
Yes, our two.
You're going to like this. Someone wants to know, does your husband quilt or sew with you?
No, he has no desire. No desire. Now I thought he was going to jump in on the long arm. He's like, nah, that's not my dish. However, I think he wants to be a certified, not a dealer, a certified mechanic for my machine. So he can service others in this area. But my husband, he's into small, small mechanics. So
that's cool.
He liked to do the outside work, and hopefully he'll be retiring at the end of this year, so he can go and do his thing, going out there. Because I'm an inside girl. I don't do the outside, so he wants to be outside, and I want to be inside. So.
Amen.
It's a win for both of us.
Do you ever name your quilts before you gift them or whatever?
It depends. I have named some of them as of this year. I started naming them. Like my last one I did was Jungle. I used Jungle Paradise fabric for a crown and anchor quilt, and I just called this Summer Paradise. I just started doing that. So hopefully it'll continue. It just, if a name come up, if I don't have a name for it, I'll just put that pattern on the label and go.
Do you like log your quilts that you do? So years down the road, you'll say, you know, I've made 5 quilts, 10 quilts in 2022, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, currently I'm using this planner. I like it. I'm not gonna bad mouth it. I like it. However, I think I'm switching over to more digital, like on the computer, because of course the more space, because once you run out of paper, you have to go buy another one. And I'm sorry, these things are terribly expensive.
Right.
More expensive than to me they need to be. However, good stuff is in it. I just think the computer, if you can come up with a layout, you can easily keep it going on your computer.
That's a good idea.
This is how I currently log it right here.
Absolutely. Hi, Tiffany, sweetie. I just saw you come in. Tiffany's Quilting Life popped in. Everybody else, yeah, she's amazeballs. Just checking Beverly Atkins, Shelly. How do you earn on paper piecing? Shelly Clark wants to know.
It depends on if it's a lot of bulk in that seam. If it's a lot of bulk right there, I'm gonna open it up. Usually I do it to the side, but a lot. Actually, on the last paper piecing project, I think I opened up every seam because I wanted to test and see how well it, how flat I can get it. And I really did like it. I really did like it.
Oh, that might be amazing then. Let me see. Delmarie, I'm going to do 2 JN table runners first.
Awesome. Judy
You had to
Meyer.
learn, yeah. You had to learn that no is in a complete sentence. Absolutely. We're learning the word no.
Yes.
And then now I'm going to pop back over here. Let me see. Do you have a favorite fabric designer that you choose to follow?
A designer. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but Riley Blake. Every time it's like it never fails. I'll find some fabric that I love, and I happen to look down at the label, and it's Riley Blake. So it's something that's drawn me towards Riley Blake. I don't know what it is, but them and Benartex, I like their fabrics. I really don't get to like names. I just, if I see some fabric, I don't care who it's by. I just got, we're there. Other than that, I'm like,
One of the Stephanie, one of the people that had mailed in one of those traveling quilt blocks, I'd never touched this kind of fabric before. So when I took it out, I didn't have to iron it or anything. Stephanie told me the name of it, but I'll have to look and I'll email you that. I mean, it was like the woman didn't starch or anything. It was like this. I was like, wow. I was just like, I didn't know fabric came that way. I was just like a kid in a candy store. Shelley Clark, I highlighted your message so I didn't forget to ask. Do you have to remove part of the paper to iron it open?
Yes, I do. Because I don't want, because you have to think about it, that paper is going to, it can create a little hump. So I just take it out. Now, before I take it out, I make sure everything is lined up perfectly. And then I do not have to, take it apart, because then you won't have the line there to sew on if you screw up. But once I know that I'm not going to be taking that apart, I will go ahead and take that paper off that seam, because that creates a little hump when you iron. It won't be as flat as it could be. But if you take the paper out, it will be.
And that makes perfect sense. Sherlock Sews is here, Beverly Atkins, and because the seams crossed, yes. Let me get rid of that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me see. I'll go back over here. There was one more. Do you have a fabric, not a fabric, a batting that you prefer to use, and why? What's your favorite batting? And then there's one more follow-up. Like your batting, I'm going to say this because people want to know, is there a right side to batting and a wrong side to batting?
And it is.
Yeah. So people want to know. That's one of your questions.
Yes, I am a batting snob. I am so ashamed to say it. I am. I love Quilter's Dream batting. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, but there is also the reason why I like it. I just love the feel of it. Mainly because I don't know what they do, but even a poly feels like butter. So I'm like, it's just, and it quilts beautifully. So I am team Quilter's Dream all the way. I hate to say that. Now, if is there an alternate batting? If I'm in a pinch? Now I do like Warm and Natural is a very good batting, but Pellon batting is very, very good as well. So I will say Warm and Natural and Pellon, those two together are like neck and neck, but my favorite is definitely Quilter's Dream batting. Is there a right and wrong side to batting? Now, before I could have told you no, but in the quilting world, I've heard so many times that yes, it is. And that, do I always follow that? No. But I do know there is a right and wrong side to batting, and I think it's the needle side, because you have the smoother side. You want to have that. I think that goes up. See, right now I think
I don't know. Tiffany, are you still in the chat? If you're in the chat, can you answer this for us? Because I don't know either. But one of the questions tonight is
I think the needles,
the punch holes, like, I don't know.
punch holes down.
Punch holes down. Okay.
Punch holes down. That's what I'm thinking. But Tiffany, correct me. I think it is punch holes down and the smooth side.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue, but it was one of your questions. And then your Franken batting, that I think that's the way, like how you're joining yours. Some people zigzag up the seam and straight line and all that. Pokey side down and smooth side up. There you go. I'm learning something, girl. But
yes. So yeah, and I didn't think of that until I think it was one that's Benson scratching, trying to make the floor a little bit comfortable. Ignore him. Ben. Thank you. Yeah, so I think it's really on dark fabric because it'll beard through.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't want that bearding, you need to really learn which side is up and down. On some batting, you cannot tell. You cannot tell. For our Quilters Guild, I don't know what batting this is, but I've learned to be very, very careful with it, because the batting is, you can still see like the seed from the cotton. Okay. And one day I ended up cutting my finger off of that seed that was yet left in the cotton because it was really, really sharp. But so you have to learn, because some sides look the same, both front and back. So when it's like that, you just got to go for the gusto, whichever side you put up.
Yeah, one of the questions was, how can you tell an upside and a downside? Because they had just seen on someone's channel that there is a right side and a wrong. I was blown away because I should have pre-read this. I had no idea. I put the bumpy side down on my quilt back and then the smooth side up, and I didn't know that there's a right way and a wrong. I didn't. I always tell myself to hide the pimples, helps me remember to put the pokey side down. Amy, you kill me. That's cute. Tiffany, even Polly and smooth sides is hard to tell. Absolutely pokey. Ugh, can't type. LOL. But
just think of the smoother side is almost like, it looked like it's been brushed a little bit. Like, you brush your hair, it looked like it's been brushed a little bit. The other side, I mean, those are the pokies.
I'm gonna have to look here now, because I honestly never read these before they came. Yeah, I just put the rough side. I can see what you're saying right away. Learn something new tonight. Thank you, baby.
Not a problem.
Do you have a quilt that you're working on now? And I know that's your nativity, right?
Nativity, yes. And I'm also working on a joy pan. It's a gridded panel that I'm working with. It's a fusible gridded panel, and it's called Joy. So I'll be talking about that on Friday. But if you want to go ahead and get the pattern, it's a small quilt. It's by 10 sisters. It's a little joy panel. So it's a little Christmas. It should have been the one that I had done this past Friday. The best of us on Friday, so we couldn't do it. But so I'll be doing it this Friday.
Cool beans. Can you tell me anything about the homeless mats that you do?
Yes, the homeless mats. I was inspired to do those by a lady in our Quilters Guild. She came in and she was talking about them. And I was like, oh, that is so nice. And then all of a sudden went to sleep. I mean, this was like months later. And it was just like, I felt a need, or I was led to do them. And I know there was nothing but the unction of the Holy Spirit that told me to do that, to honor my sister-in-law's nephew, who knew that he wanted to be homeless even as a small child. You would ask
Really?
him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he would tell you, I want to be homeless. And we were like, yeah, nah, that's not going to happen. But he professed this all his life. And when he graduated high school, again, they were like, okay, so you're going to go to college? And he was like, I won't need a degree to be homeless. And he followed through on that. That was his calling. His calling was to work with the homeless. The family didn't know. Unfortunately, he did pass away. He accidentally drowned. We think it could have been a medical emergency that led to his drowning, but we're not sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure the family is. But they didn't know all the things that he contributed to the homeless community until they allowed them to speak at his funeral. And it went on for hours. All of the testimonies that they had given, he wanted to teach them to protect themselves, how to take care of themselves. I mean, the list went on and on, how amazing this young man was. And he believed in his community. He believed in serving that community. He believed that you looking out on the outside, trying to help them on the inside, it wasn't going to work for him. He wanted to show himself that he can do, those things and still be, have a connection to them. So it came to me to do the homeless mats, and I started, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do 3 a year. Let me tell you, because I never crocheted like this before. I'll do a single chain, one of the chains, and I'd be like, I'm done with crochet. I'm telling you, this has taken a lot out of me to, get it as far as I've gotten it. But I love working on it every night. The hardest part, believe it or not, is cutting up the grocery bags. That's the hardest part. So, yeah.
Do you have one handy to show us? I've never saw them. And it's okay.
No, but I can get one to come. I can bring my bag down.
That's awesome. Okay.
So he'll bring it down.
It's okay, baby.
Yeah, it's huge, right? I'm sorry.
You broke up on me.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get my husband to bring it down. It's getting big. It's getting really big. But my goal was to do 3 a year. I'll be lucky if I finish this one by the end of the year, and I will just keep on going. Like that. I will be sending them. They will not be for the homeless in my community. I will be sending them back home to my hometown, so they will service the homeless in the community that Keaton loved.
That's awesome.
They'll be going back.
What drives you to continue to quilt?
My promise to my daughter. Before she passed, she was like, Mom, you got to promise me something. And I don't know what it was about her asking and me immediately saying, yes, I will, go forth with this promise. And bring it this way. And I don't know what it was.
Thank you, honey, for the delivery. I just never saw anything like it. So if anybody's interested, you'll get a bird's eye view of what she's doing.
Okay, first, once you cut up all the bags, you make a plarn, which is plastic yarn. So once you make it up, tie them together. I don't want to lose my hook here. Let me take that out.
Now that's a monster hook, babe.
Yes, but this is the It's open. The mat will be 4 foot by 6 foot. I got the 6 foot going. I'm just needing the 4 foot across.
That is just so neat. I never saw anything like it. And
it's extremely heavy. It's heavy, and actually I sprained my fingers because it's so heavy.
Oh, honey. That is just mind-blowing. That's neat.
Yes, and not only, I mean, each mat takes about 800 to 1,000 bags. And of course, I could not have done it all by myself. I have Nancy, she's in the chat. Guess who's Nancy? Day is in the chat, who sent me bags. There, was there someone else? Lisa sent me bags. You guys were amazing. I mean, these bags are being used, as you can see.
Teresa, Tiffany, yes, that's all crocheted, baby.
Crochet, yes.
What is it made from? So Terry, market bags.
Yes.
Coming along so good. Stephanie looks awesome. That's just mind-blowing. I've never saw anything like it.
Yes, you get the bags, each grocery store bag. It once you cut it up, you'll cut it up into 4 little strips like this. And then you just take the strip and just loop them together. I just take it and loop it, pull it through to form a little knot, and then you have your chain.
That is
You can
neat.
sit down and do this in the timing of watching a TV show, and before you know it, you will have a ball like this, and then you can get the crocheting.
Del Marie wants to know, do you have a pattern on your YouTube for it?
There's not a pattern for it. I just know that the mat needed to be 4 by 6. So I just chained until I got to 6 feet. They're all single chain crochet. So I went to 6 feet, and I just keep going back and forth, and I will stop when it gets a little bit over 4 feet. And then I'm gonna learn how to do a shoulder. So you can carry it on your shoulder, a little sling to carry it on your shoulder, because like I said, this mat is heavy.
That's just unbelievable. I'm just in awe of you. What size hook did you say that was? I saw you hold it up, but I cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. It's a PQ hook. No, the 15.0 millimeter hook.
That's unbelievable. I never saw anything that big. If anybody wants to have at it, contact her. There's a lady here that made similar mats for the homeless, but I think she did finger knot knitting. Oh my gosh, Tiffany, that's mind-blowing too. Well, I've never heard of this project.
But the finger.
I'm sure others would like to help too. If anybody wants to help, be a blessing. You'd probably like them already cut, right? And sent, already knotted in the balls. That might help.
I will take them however they like to send them, because before I knew how time consuming these were, people were just sending me bags. And then I did get offers that they would like to cut them up in the strips already for me. If you want to do that, that's great too.
That's awesome.
Because when they're cut up like this, that means I can just sit and, tie them together and then go for it with the crocheting. My mother-in-law is doing one as well. So this is when she saw it, she's like, oh, I want to do it too. I think her mat is going to stay here locally, but my mats will go to back home.
Oh, that is so sweet, honey. What it says, things that I love about our quilting community. What would you say you love about our quilting community?
What do I love about our community? Our community is awesome. I think once because we are creative. Not all of our quilters don't fit into one box. You have those who are like on the art form, you have those in the modern form, you have those in the traditional form, and generally it doesn't matter. We all have a love of quilting that draws us together. There are things that then you have machine quilters versus hand quilters, which can be awesome. As a gentleman in our guild, he does everything by hand. Everything by hand. And I'm like, holy cow. I mean, so it's amazing. You have that luxury of loving another quilter regardless of where they are in their quilting journey. Because we who've been doing it for so long love to bring newer people up into quilting. The thing that in the diversity, oh my gosh, the diversity is phenomenal. Those are the things that I really do love about it. I think that once people get to know one another more, once we see that, you know what, I like to get to know that person. Well, quilters are easy to get along with. And I think that the thing that I love the most is that when I'm quilting, I feel more like myself. I can talk to anybody, regardless of how old they are and how young they are, about something that I love to do. And we all can do that. We all can do that.
Absolutely. You can see the passion, and sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everywhere we look, we can find some help from someone. And like, I was dying with my binding. I fumbled that thing. And I watched Tiffany. I'll never forget it. One night, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was channel surfing, and I watched Tiffany's binding. And I don't know whether I was brain dead at the time and it clicked or what. I was doing it all wrong. And when I had to get up out of bed, come up to my machine and fold some and use a piece of batting just to make sure I didn't dream it. And it was just like, It was amazing. I think we all got a lot to share.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Absolutely. Have you found your niche on YouTube?
No. I just, you know what? I just love quilting. So I'm going to do what makes me happy. I don't have and I don't like being set in a particular corner, because then that's what people will always expect you to do. There are things that, like this pattern is 20 years old. And we have some amazing patterns from back in 20 years ago that really didn't flourish like I wanted them to, or that I expected them to. And I'm going to bring those here on my channel. I'm bringing, old school back,
I love that.
Things. But unfortunately, this pattern, when I went for this one, that was the thing. I didn't think that a lot of people would want to do it because, one, it was costly, especially if you're going to use the Clover's tape. But I thought it was just pretty cool. So I did it not knowing that the designer of it decided that she no longer wanted to, sell her patterns anymore. But she still have some, there were still some out on like eBay, on Etsy. It might not be this exact one, but she had a redesign of it and all that. So you can still find them, but it's hard. It's not a lot of them. And when I tried talking to her about, come on, bring them back, she was like, I'm not even in the quilting business anymore. So, it kind of broke my heart that, that I was working on something that not more than 20 people can get their hands on it. So, unfortunately, they will have to look, learn about it and, just know that they can turn pretty much any project into it. So.
Absolutely. Tiffany, thank you for hopping on, sweetheart, and we'll catch you over on your channel at some point. And it means a lot that you hopped in with us tonight. Let me see. We all have a love-hate about being a content creator. Do you have one?
A love-hate, yes, because this is not my first rodeo with YouTube. This is actually my second. I did have another channel, and then I did leave because of a lot of perversion. I was a Christian channel, so therefore I did not want to open up my emails continually or my DMs and have a lot of pornography sent to me from both men and women. So that was a deterrent. So I decided I was getting out, and that channel was like I said, it was a Christian channel. People felt the need to send that garbage to me. So when I got the book to come back again, it was just going to be solely on quilting. And that way I didn't have to, deal with that. Now with it, I've also learned that I hated doing pre-recorded videos because that one takes time away from family, and it takes time, so much time to edit those videos, especially to get it to where you like them, and hopefully someone else will enjoy them. But I started doing lives here and on this for my channel here, because once the live is over, I'm done. I don't have to go back and edit, and I'm not taking any more time away from my family. So that's the hate, the pre-recorded videos, because they're very, very time consuming. The love is the community. I love the creativity, but it also comes at a price. I mean, our community has been hit with some bad things, dealing with trolls and stuff like that these last couple of weeks. And I'm thanking God so much that, I believe we're coming downhill from it. But it's just community. I live for this quilting community. Absolutely. And that's what I love about it. And with it, I'm hoping no one is seeing color. I'm hoping that everyone is seeing the creativity, the art, the love, and the passion of it, and not the things that we see every day on the news. We all can get along. There's no reason for us not to.
Absolutely. No, it's a quilting world, and it's a place for us to learn and love. And I am thankful for each and every one that's involved in us and helping us, because there's not a day goes by that we're not learning from somebody. And I'm going to slip up into the chat and see if we can find any goodness for you. I don't want to.
But I do know you did ask one question before, and it was about Benson.
Yeah.
Ben, come here. Oh, you snuck over there. Come here.
Yeah, we got an email about her baby.
Yeah, I look a little scruffy right now, so don't judge, because we get groomed every 2 weeks. But my groomer decided to go have surgery, so I look a little rough.
Oh my word!
But he is my cutie pie.
What kind is he?
He is a Zuchon. He's a Zuchon, Zuchon. He was our daughter's Make-A-Wish dog.
Oh.
And we got stuck with him. After she went home to glory.
Yeah. But what a blessing to leave behind.
Yes, it was strange, because when a new symptom started, you are being naughty. Come on, go down. Thank you. Go lay down. He decided he wanted to get my hook. He's not that. He's picking up on when one of my symptoms is I faint or near faint often. So he can pick up on my heart rate. He'll let me know when it's getting too low. He'll come and he'll keep nudging at me or keep scratching at me,
making you
let me know it's time. So I usually have him with me down here, so he can, because he'll pick up on it sometimes at least up to 5 minutes before I pass out or something like that. So no, he's not a service dog. He's just he just happened to pick up on it. He's with me often. And he's too small to be my service dog, because one of the ways to get the blood back up to my heart the fastest is to raise my legs. Well, honey, he can't raise nothing on me, okay, other than my arm when he want me to pet him. So I need a larger dog for that.
But he is adorable. You're blessed. I'm telling you, that's a cutie.
Yeah, he is.
I marked where I left off. Gonna skim the chat. Teresa, thank you. I do feel a little better this evening, and over the next few days, I'll start to feel better. Mary F. Steph is correct. Absolutely. Pokey side down. Let me see. With Stephanie on Quilter's Dream. Absolutely. Dimples up, pimples down. I never heard of it that way. That's cute. Amy, I always tell myself to hide the pimples. I already hit that. Polly side, I'm just trying to skim the chat. So if I miss something, it's by all means not intentional. Teresa Louise, Teresa McBear at Donna. What a testimony. Absolutely. Tiffany's Quilting Life. Hello. Everybody saying hi. So Journey. If anybody has any questions, now's the time to pop them into the chat for me, lady. What is the make of, again, please? Elizabeth Helvey is asking, going back to see what it is. They're made out of the market bags, if that's what you're asking, Elizabeth. Love it, Stephanie. It's really coming along. Absolutely. That's neat. Are you chain stitching? I think you said that.
Single chain, yes.
Let me see here. There was a lady doing similar mats for the homeless out where Tiffany is. My chat just jumped. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
We love each other. She didn't finish sharing about her women. She didn't get to finish about her daughter's encouragements. Brenda Foley.
Oh, yeah. She encouraged me. She was like, Mom, I just want you to promise me one thing. And I was like, oh, because before she passed, she was 11 years old when she passed. And we had 11 things on the board that she wanted to do before she passed. And so we did most of those things. I think we were shy of 2. One was her cooking for me. And I'm like, no, you're not gonna cook for me. Because one day she decided to offer me some tea. She's in a hospital, so you know the tea is a little bit bland. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. That girl put some salt and pepper in that tea, and it was horrible. I said, from this day on, I would never drink or eat anything that you make. So one of her things was she wanted to cook for me. So when she asked me to promise her something, that's what I was thinking, that she was going to tell me, let me cook for, eat something that she made. And I was not about to do that. So I don't trust you. I think you would do something else to me. And she was like, no, because she knew at this point a time, she knew that, her time was coming close. Of course, she was like, I don't want it. What kid does? She's like, but Mom, promise me you'll never stop quilting. But at that point in time, I had stopped. Because one, I lived in the hospital with her for those 3 months. I didn't go home, but I was able to bring my machine in to the hospital. And a lot of times she listened to me when she was going to sleep. So she also liked the hum of the sewing machine, but she made me promise her that I wouldn't stop quilting. So since 2015, I was really every day. Now there are days that I can't come down here, but trust and believe me, I'm doing something crafty. I have an EP project up by my bedside. I have cross stitch by my bedside. I have this mat by my bedside, or I'm writing or, planning something for Memoirs of a Long-Arm Quilter. So I've kept up to that promise, and I'm hoping I'm making her proud, because she knows this is nothing easy. And I do donations to our church twice, 2 quilts a year during Christmas for the sick and shut in. And I'm, just hopefully they'll go to, a child and an adult. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's the motivation behind why I continue to quilt.
That's guess who, Nancy? We love each other. So true, Stephanie. I agree with Stephanie. Oh, adorable. He's pretty adorable. Doggy, my eyes are watering, so you got to give me a second. Janine, amen. We all need the colors in the quilting world.
That's right.
He is gorgeous. I have Zinnian so much fun. He's part Bichon. Is that what they're saying? Bichon?
Bichon and Shih Tzu, yes.
Yeah, we have a Shih Tzu, and I was like, we got it because it's hypoallergenic. And that's our Miss Molly.
Yeah.
Because I don't want all that hair.
It's supposed to be hypoallergenic too.
Supposed to be,
He's
right?
Supposed to be full of allergies.
Yeah, I have to take allergy meds because every other animal's walked into our house.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. He is a medical support dog. No, she's already said that, but he does help her. He's just not labeled that. I'm trying
so I can't take him anywhere because though he's cute, he is not friendly. He is going to protect his mama at all costs. Even though he has a huge underbite, he is going to protect his mama. When people come into our house, he is not, you don't belong here. You got to go. And like when my husband comes home or when my son comes in, he will not let them rest or sit until they come and see me. So she needs to know who's in this house because we live out in the country. You don't belong in this house, you might catch a blood. I'm saying, I'm not saying, but
Welcome to the party tonight, Miss Ellen. Ellen Campbell's Creations here, learning to quilt. Hello, everyone. I had a hard time getting into the chat. I don't know why, sweetheart, but welcome. He can't detect your He can detect your symptoms, so that's an amazing match. Absolutely. Hi, Miss Ellen. Everybody's telling her hello. Hi, Delia. Learning to quilt. She's telling everybody hello. Elizabeth. Donna, you sound so much better. As the night's going on, I honestly, a shot in the shoulder and one in the tuchus is a kickstart. Plus, I'm on my second round of antibiotics today. So something's got to give. Got to run. Hubby said it's time for dinner. I enjoyed the interview. Thank you, Amy. Thanks for hopping in. Are the mats made of plastic bags for a particular reason? So Terry asked. They're for the homeless.
Yes. They're the reason why you want them plastic is because these mats are the ones that they lay upon. It helps keep them dry because in Wisconsin, where there's a lot of snow, and then, just like everywhere else, we go through a rain season. So it helps to keep them a little bit dry. Yes, it has the holes in it, but with the plastic, they can wipe it off, easy to clean them versus, homeless won't have most won't have money for washing and drying the quilts and stuff like that. With the mats, they can, just soak them, put them down in water and, go about the business about the day.
Dahlia Short wants to know what width are the strips, honey?
These are about anywhere between 2.5 to 3 inches wide. Like this one is a little bit wider. This is like a 3-inch, but it really long between the 2.5 to 3, they work fine together.
Okay. Let me see. Patty G, service dogs, projects, trained Great Danes as a medical sport dog, great program and caters to vets. The dogs are free, go through a lot of interviews and training, I'm sure. Absolutely. Let me see. Campbell's
Yes.
Creation. She's telling everybody hello. My neighbor had an MSD. The dog was detected when she was going to have a seizure. The dog warned her to get on the floor. Absolutely. Sherlock Sows is giving you hugs. Beverly Atkins, so sad but very inspiring. Thank you, Stephanie. Big hug, Stephanie. Learning to Quilt. Hello, Stephanie, by Miss Ellen. I'm so incredibly sorry, Steph, although all my thoughts and love and prayers. Mary F. Learning to Quilt, Sherlock Sows. Teresa Byer, Donna, thank you so much for doing these interviews in the quilting community, helping us to know each other. I just love doing them. It gives us all a chance to get to know each other. Joe, we're getting spammed.
Oh, geez.
It does. I don't know how to make all this spam stuff go away. Vicky Lemire, have a black Shih Tzu female. You'll have to post a picture sometime, Miss Vicky. I'm sorry. He's trying to get that off, guys. Just close your eyes. But anyway, we'll just focus back on the interview. I know I told you I'd keep you about an hour, but we want to clean up that mess before we get off here. If there's one final message in closing, Steph, that you could give us all, words of encouragement, uplifting, anything, what would that be tonight?
Tonight if you didn't know, you're gonna know. I am a Christian girl. So my parting words is we all have to be mindful of one another. We also have to be mindful that we're not here just for ourselves. We're here to service others. So in your quilting, whatever you do, when you do it out of love, do it out of compassion, do it because when you're making that quilt and and especially if you're doing it for a charity, oh my goodness, like these bags, like about 5 strips will have scripture written on it, a prayer written on it, because I want that person to know that this was made out of love for them. I am wholeheartedly about making sure that the next person is being taken care of. We have so many things going on outside in this world, and we can be, a tool that God uses to branch over into these different areas, like the traveling mats. You guys are going to bless 3 or maybe even 4 amazing organizations with what you do. These quilts matter. Our work matters, regardless of what other people say or how someone might turn their nose up at it. Don't even pay them no mind. What you do matters. You matter. And that's all we have for, today. We can't live for our life and do these things for ourselves. It has to be the betterment for the next man.
That's our motto. We live our life of service and giving back. And it's just what we do. And I'm like you, when I'm sewing the blocks together, we're praying over them. I do like you, but I didn't write it on the quilts, but I've already packaged up the notes that'll be going with each quilt. So there's inspirational messages to the recipients. That's from all of us. You know what I'm saying? Little poems, whatever it was. Things have been photocopied. Things are going together because this is the history of this quilt. And these are to be blessings.
Right. Yes, and every quilt that goes on my long arm has to get prayed over. I am pouring into that because I want God to not only bless the creator who made these quilts. I'm asking God to bless the one who's quilted, and I'm asking God to bless the recipients of it. I mean, God is going to be through and through. And if you think you're going to have a bad day with this quilt, you're wrong, because God is going to cover you. I mean, that's what a quilt does, is covering you. I have a quilter's prayer on the back of my wall. I look at it often, and a part of it says, a quilt to give, to comfort those I love in times of hurt, fear, and uncertainty. And the courage, I can't even finish reading the rest of it because I can't see it, to sewing when life itself seems like it's being held together by a single thread of hope. Honey, don't get hopeless, because I preach on that. But no, we're not hopeless. No. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what God has called you to do.
Absolutely. It's a testimony. That's the way I look at it. I got to get back up here. There's more up here. Okay, she's got it. I'm sorry. There's trolls, and there's nothing I can do, but all we can do is Joe and Courtney's healing. They're gonna have a preacher tonight.
We're gonna cover them too in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Let them be gone by business.
Absolutely, they need to be going. Oh
yes,
I love the Lord. Thanks, Courtney. Sherlock says thumbs up. I can't tell how many's in the chat. If you like the content that we do share, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, to myself as well as Stephanie, because together we grow, together we sew, and one stitch at a time, we bring it all together. And 39. It's for the blessings. That's, we give everything we got, and it's just for the better. I don't know. I just turned in. Hi, Rich Rudley. I saw that name quite a bit the last few days, and thank you. I turned in. I can't make it out. I took my glasses off because we talk about the Lord and I get all weepy. I just turned in. I can't help myself. Hi, Rich. Beverly, thanks, Donna and Stephanie. Great interview. Thank you for sharing. Well said, Stephanie. Do everything in love. Be Jesus to everyone. Just be able to.
Yes.
Amen. I agree. Great interview. And thank you, Donna and Stephanie. Yes, a scripture. Absolutely. I belong to a prayer quilt ministry. We all do the same with prayers of love. That's awesome.
Yes.
I'm trying to read. Give God everything to bless. Absolutely. If you don't keep God in it, you might as well not even be doing it. Amen. Keep
That's
up.
Right.
You're welcome. So Terry, Donna, you need to rest. Thank you, Stephanie. Good night. I thank the Lord. He brought us all together. Nancy, God brought us all into this realm of life, this season of life, for a reason, for a season. But I'm telling you right now, I couldn't be more blessed by all the people I've met and the love that we all share. Everybody has a good day and a bad, and we'll all get through whatever, but it doesn't define any of us. We're all good people.
Right.
Donna, you need some chicken soup. I need something. But what was I going to tell her? I lost train of thought. I was going to show you something, but I'll have to show you when we get offline. Campbell's Creation, Donna, you and Stephanie just brighten my day. We sew and pray every day. Absolutely. And Miss Ellen, you need to message me because I might have an opening sooner rather than later for you, baby. I talked to her it's been a week or two ago. I just love that woman. Anybody that I can turn on. And she reminds me of my mom and my grandma telling the old time stories. That just, I reached out one night, one morning. I was sitting there, Joe and I was watching her, and he said it too. He goes, what's so funny is she reminds me of your mother telling the old stories. Hi, Becca. Welcome to the chat, baby.
Hey, Becca.
I'm glad that I could make it in since heat almost blew out our electricity. Oh my goodness, baby. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Be safe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So, if anybody has any questions, we're going to end here in a minute because I told her about an hour, but I've got the gift of gab and we like to share. So, any other current projects that you're going to be having coming onto your way that we can all tune in and watch? I know you're doing your nativity.
Yeah, nativity. That one I believe is going to be, even though I don't want to do any mini pre-recorded, I believe this one will be. I do have a quilt for donation that I'll be doing tomorrow for Long Arm Tuesday. And then again, the Joy panel. The rest of the month is going to be trying to get a lot of my, I call them works in progress, or you might call them UFOs done that need to be on the long arm. So I can put some color up behind me and get, again, the Judy Niemeyer one will be taking precedence over a lot of stuff, especially on my Friday lives at 3 p.m. Because I got to get that one done. Usually they say that one take about a year.
What, the Judy Niemeyer?
Yeah, it depends on your time that you have to work on it, because this is a huge one.
Which one are you doing?
I'm doing, it's called Sandstone Spires or Spurs, I think it's called. Spires. I'm doing that one.
That might be the same one. I'll have to.
Really?
I think it is.
Yes, and I have like 4 of hers. So I'm like, this one is going to be huge. We have our living room has one huge bare wall, and it's going to go on that wall.
No.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be like in a neutral color theme. So regardless of what furniture we choose, it'll look nice with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And 5 sew-alongs. I'm trying to get those sew-alongs, up and done. So yeah. Oh,
that's awesome. So Terry, Miss Ellen is real and she makes me laugh with her stories. Nice to see your faces together. I just love everybody, and I think Stephanie's pretty well the same thing. Our quilting community is a loving fellowship with each other. Absolutely. Please remember to give the thumbs up. Miss Ellen, I love you. Teresa McGuire, Donna, try and get some rest. Wait a minute. Donna, try and get the Quilting Marine soon. I've messaged twice. I'm going to have to reach out to someone who's had him before, and she shall remain nameless, Becca, and see if she can help pull a string or two. I've messaged, but I may not have a good email, so I'll go that route. I'll pray for you. Please pray for me. Absolutely. Remind her cotton cuts, Donna. Cotton. I'm supposed to remind you.
Cotton cuts. Oh yes, Courtney and I will be doing cotton cuts. We will be doing it as a team.
Whoa.
So we'll be bringing guys lives together. Cotton cuts, they do pre-cut fabric. It's a mystery quilt that you get one package each month, and you either can do a large or a small quilt. We're both doing large. We're doing it in 2 different colorways so that guys can see the same quilt but in a different colors. We did choose, drastically different colors.
Really? What did you pick?
So it's gonna be a fun so long. It lasts 10 months. This will be my 3rd one, but it will be my first large. So I'm super excited about us doing that together.
That's awesome. I kept telling Becca I wanted her to send me the link, and I forgot to remind her because I talked to her when she was on the road, and I dropped the ball. I would have loved to have done that with you.
Yeah, and in fact, they just announced another fabric collection part. Oh, and if you love steampunk, I believe that one.
What is it?
It sold out fast because it was really pretty. It was more like steampunk.
Ooh.
So like clock looking fabric,
Yeah.
ears and all that kind of stuff. Oh, it is awesome. And it's dark. So
Oh,
that is going to be a very, whoever does that one, I'm really interested in
I would
seeing how
love to
it's
do that.
together.
I don't know what their cutoff was. I thought it was the end of the month if I saw it. Good night, Donna and
No,
Stephanie.
the first one I did, I joined a lot later.
Did
I don't
you?
really, it's once the fabric line is out. I'm
Oh,
not 100% certain, but I love what cotton cuts do. They do employ people that with challenges.
right.
They're not the ones that you'll find working in a lot of fast food restaurants, in that, you know, because people won't take the time to hire these group of individuals. So I will always pour my support into that company because I love what they do and what they stand for.
Absolutely. I think, what is it called? Nitato? Is that what she's saying? I want to write that down because once I go off, Joe will lose it. Cotton Cuts. And I think she's Nettano. And I'll call back. I'll message Becca.
Now, and I'm doing the peach color one.
Now,
it has an Italian name, Italia Unita d'Italia, or something like that. I don't know. I just know it's peach.
oh, that would be cool. Shelley Clark, it's still open. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm doing here and jump on that because I like to watch how easy it. Like I did I want to say maybe a year ago, they sent out like a sample block or something so you could try it. And like within 3 minutes, bam, bam. And I was like, I like this. And when I had my
all your fans pre-cut.
I was like, takes the work out of it. Not well,
Absolutely.
Every time, once in a while, we got to have that mindless sewing. I just got my first clue for the piece of mystery. Hello, Beverly. In one. Surprised me. I just realized you're all on. I don't think a notification went out, honey, and I'm sorry if it didn't. But I've kept this girl on long enough tonight, and I greatly appreciate the interview and having fun with you, girl.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime you got free time, and give me a call. We don't even have to be online. I sit with a few of them and we just sit and mindless sew together and chat offline. So anytime you get bored, you want to hook up, message me. A few of us do that just so we can have some downtime. All right, guys, we're going to cut out of here. And thank y'all for joining us tonight. It's been a blessing. We've had a fun time. If you're tuning in late, please watch the replay. There's a lot of good info. Stephanie's a doll baby. If you haven't subscribed to her, hop on over. Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter. You will not be disappointed. She is definitely anointed and it shines through with her, guys. So you guys have a great evening. God bless you. Take care, and we'll see you back in the next live. Bye-bye, guys. Give them a second, Joe, to say their goodbyes. Okay, guys. Go ahead.